The first time that I stepped onto the Storyville backlot, I think it might have been my first day in New Orleans, and Alan took me for a walk around the backlot, and I just, like, the scale of it completely blew my mind. I'd worked on some really impressive backlots before, but the level of detail and the vibrancy of it, I was just blown away.
I arrived in New Orleans and I visited the set. The otherworldliness, it was just profound. It was such an enormous and complete idea of an environment. Suddenly I was thrown into another dimension.
So much to cover for Louis in the first episode. I think it was probably the most focused I was. I had to zone in and figure out who this person was, how to represent the different hats, the different faces that Louis has to wear. But that was a really fun challenge. I think the day before we started shooting, I just took a walk around the backlot. I almost felt like I was being like possessed by Louis. I'm sure people hate it when actors say things like that, but I genuinely did. Like, I felt myself, I was walking differently and feeling like Louis. I've never really had anything like that before.
Yeah, so the poker table scene, I had this huge speech that Roland had written. It was a really fun challenge. You're speaking about one thing, but your eyes are saying another.
These men look down on you.
And then we obviously later recorded all of the dialogue in ADR. It was really interesting to shoot because all of the effects were actually practical. They had poker chips on little wires floating on the table and plastic alcohol coming out of the glass to make it look like they were frozen in time. And all of the actors, when Lestat hypnotizes them, they were all frozen in place. I mean, they had these opaque contact lenses in. It was amazing to watch because they had to freeze for quite a long time.
I had been a fan of Jacob's when he did Game of Thrones. I saw in him an actor who was able to do things that were very subtle, and I looked forward to working with him. I found out very quickly that he was a great guy to work with, and also that he was going to provide all the torque I needed to fully immerse myself. Jacob is not afraid of going to the full reality of the moment. When I sense that and I can really dive in, it's like flying to be fully immersed in a scene. And we went there.